He didn't want any applause.
Hello guys, my name is Pablo R. Today I will be talking about marijuana. So my major claim here today is that marijuana should be legal in all states of California, and I will be supporting this claim by first talking about the medical benefits of marijuana. Second, I will also talk about the positive impact of the American economy. And third, I will talk about the research that will be done once marijuana is legal, and it will show improvements. Throughout the states. Once again, let me start again and talk about the medical benefits of marijuana. At the Langro Medical Center, there was a case study where 50% of 213 patients saw a reduction in the amount of seizures that they had, and all these people in these studies, they were both children and adults, and they did see a benefit. Also in the Stank Institute, there were also lab studies that showed that marijuana components such as THC would reduce the amount of toxic protein that is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Now I will transition to talk about the positive impact of the legalization of marijuana in the United States. I will first talk about how Christopher Ingram stated in 2014 in Colorado that the market generated $63 million in tax revenue, and also an additional $13 million collected in taxes and licensing fees. This shows how this will benefit the American economy, and as it has in Colorado. Christopher Ingram has also stated that marijuana in Aurora, Colorado has benefited the society of the well-being of the people by creating a new recreation center for the children and for the public, and also by reconstructing roads and fixing any new buildings that need to be fixed there. And I will also talk about the restrictions that researchers and scientists all had that has to do with marijuana in the United States. But ABC News just recently spoke about the research capabilities that they had, and the government, they were able to give Colorado $8 million of money in researching the marijuana medical potentials that can be involved. And within the study itself, they also did find that marijuana in this study, that it did treat glaucoma, severe stress, anxiety, people that had trouble eating. This also gave an effect for the appetite, and it also decreases the amount of cancer cells in the body, and it is used to treat inflammation. It is used to treat inflammatory bowel disease. And as I just stated, I do believe that marijuana should be legalized in California because of the medical benefits, 2, because of the positive impact of the American economy, and 3, because of the research capabilities. Thank you.
Don't stand up there. It makes you a target. You can go sit in the back. All right, a couple of things that are pretty strong to start with. The contents of the speech are previewed pretty well. The secondary points at first don't start off as claims, but the further we got into them, you made them sound like declarative sentences, so I thought that was good. And in the body of the speech, you signpost them pretty well, at least the second and the third point. I got a label on those points. I do think that they could be the information on those points could be a little bit stronger, but I knew where you were going. The proposition that you present is a policy claim, and so there's a problem here. It's not that hard to turn it into a claim of fact, but you still haven't done that. You basically say marijuana should be legalized in all states of California. And by the way, I don't know what all states of California are. All states, including California, maybe that's what you meant. The way you phrased it is a little bit awkward as well. So it's a policy proposition. It's a little bit awkwardly phrased. There's a good preview, though, so I know where you're headed. And you generally do an okay job signposting those supporting points. The evidence that you have for your support is a little bit vague. The statistical information you present in the study at the beginning, that's not too bad. Then later on, it gets more and more vague as to what it is you're talking about. The protein that is responsible for Alzheimer's, I don't know where this research came from. I don't know who you're quoting. I don't know if it's a medical source that has come up with this conclusion. You're not giving me any source citations in the presentation, and that is problematic. You did cite Christopher Ingram, talking about the Colorado example. At least at first it was pretty solid. I think some of the information that you've got here is probably accurate, but it's not presented like a direct quote. It often sounds like a paraphrase, and some of the things that are coming out really sound vague as a consequence. I don't know exactly how it built the recreation center. I assume that probably the local government got some money from the tax revenue, and that's what built the recreation center and fixed all of the roads. But I'm not exactly sure how you arrived at that conclusion, whether that was a quote from Ingram, whether it was some other source that gave us that information, or whether it's just something that you heard somewhere. You need to give us some source citations on that. The ABC News information, for instance, is mostly a paraphrase. It doesn't really tell us what it is that is going on with the research that is talking about. We get some information about I guess that there's $8 million that's been raised for studying marijuana. I don't know if that's in Colorado, if that's nationwide. And then all of the medical claims that are made for marijuana are conclusionary, and I don't even know who's making these conclusionary statements because there's no source citation on it. So your grounds are problematic. The structure is good. The proposition is a policy claim. I do think that you're trying to engage the audience while you're speaking, but you need to have your information in more control. It's a little too loosey-goosey right now. All right, thank you.